content warning exists, and I'm still waiting for Spig to return to Lethal Company for an eclipsed-only sprintless jumpless Q10 solo blindfolded. This game might be considered dead, but I still play it even when no one else around me wants to play. Sort of. So I'm stuck here on YouTube to answer all the burning questions you may still have from when you did play the game. Is offense actually good? You may have gone to the wiki, saw that it had a lot of pretty handsome loot, and said, yep, yes, please. Side note, can we just all go to the Mirrorhees wiki? I know the fandom looks better, but the fandom kinda sucks and it cares more about money than anything, and my computer is begging me to X out. Offense looks like experimentation and assurance. Fire's kinda trash and requires either an extension ladder or the sick parkour jump that you can only make as the ship is landing. In order to make this jump, go on top of one of the railings, the left one is easier by the way, and time your running jump just a little bit higher than the pipe. To get to main, run below this weird platform thingy and then hug the left until you see a concrete wall. Go up to the wall and hug the left again until you find the ladder, which leads up to main. If this path is blocked by a pumpkin or rock, get onto the mountain right of the other mountain, jump on the platform thingy, jump off, and then hug the left until you find the ladder. So offense can have a range between 14 to 17 pieces of scrap. It's pretty good, but it still can't quite beat out assurance since the map is just a little bit larger. What that scrap will be kinda sucks. Each moon has its own loot table for how often a specific scrap item spawns. A flask for offense has a 5.62% chance. This means that when an item is chosen to spawn, the item has a 5.62% chance to be a flask. Offense's most common scraps is the large axle, big bolt, V-type engine, metal sheet, and bottles. Do you see a pattern between most of these? 3 of them are two-handed. This means that you can only carry one at a time. Absolutely riveting for solo runs. That's 3 trips taking 2 minutes to get like 2 axles and an engine. All that for like 90 bucks? If it's not clear already, offense is pretty bad for solo, and it's still not really best for a 4-person group. Again, the trio of big mid loot still makes a third of the gathered scrap harder to transport. But what if you're the ultra Chad and only get single-handed stuff? Yeah, the metal sheets, the bolts, the flasks, yeah, freaking yield sign. These are all extremely crappy items to find. Except for the yield sign, sort of. It's just so heavy. Its best use is less of killing thumpers and more of killing yippee bugs and snare bugs. 62% of offense's loot is just freaking bad. What's in that 38% though? Just look at the table if you care. Once you gather this crap scrap, there's a couple ways to transport it easier to the ship. If you're at main, carry it to the platform thingy and drop it off there. If you're at fire, you can run across the pipe and drop it off at this metal support structure or anywhere near the ship that the crew can agree on. But if you ever catch your eyes on a cookie mold pan, just know that that thing is rare. It is the rarest scrap item you can find on offense. This is a pretty anticlimactic loot table. It's just so mid and not good. We should instead focus on the name of this place, offense. Its indoor power level is it's 12, only 2 below March. If you have no clue what I just said or don't know what power level is, I've already explained it in a previous video, so I'll save myself time and replay it here. Each enemy is given a power level from 1 to 3, and each moon has a max power level it can have. The amount of enemies that have currently spawned gets their power level added to the total power level present. Once the power level has reached the moon's max power level, no more enemies can spawn. So basically, the lower the moon's power level, the less enemies will spawn. With offense's power level at 12, and the map side only a quarter times larger than experimentation's, this moon is literally, figuratively, metaphorically, and hypothetically on the offensive. What will crawl out of the vents as you enter? Thumpers and spiders. Those two got significantly stronger with version 47 as the railing glitch got patched, and are still relatively okay to deal with if you know how to kill them properly. Thumpers slow down once they're hit, so find a long hallway and walk backwards while swinging at it until it dies. The same can be said for spiders. If you don't have a weapon, run, preferably making several turns and getting out of sight. Hagadiers and snarefleas are also common and is kind of here to be an inconvenience. The next on the enemies is, no. Oh no, offense, no, offense.
No way!
You're
What if you're right? No.
What is this?
You're right, no.
Oh my god!
Coilheads have about a 1 in 9 chance to spawn, and they are disgusting. They require you to look at them constantly. In order to escape, you need to know where you're going, which is very difficult when you can't be looking where you're running. You will need good communication and cooperation with a team member to either trap it behind a locked door or find a way out. If you're alone, then don't worry. Offense is not able to spawn a ghost girl, so double taking constantly won't hurt. But at the end of the day, this is Lethal Company, so random bull crap always happens, and sometimes you just can't survive these situations. Anyways, the rest of the enemies on offense are either easy to deal with or extremely rare. This would be a great place to transition to the next section, but the outside exists, and dogs. That's the most common outdoor enemy. So if you see 4 of them on offense, just know that nothing else can spawn, since the nighttime power level is 8. If you don't find 4 dogs, you can find baboon hawks, worms, and giants? So you're saying that the desert moon has a decent chance for a forest giant to spawn? The old birds make sense, like they're supposed to be rare, but giants? If you haven't seen my Assurance vs. March video, it does a pretty good job of explaining why giants are so freakishly awful. Giants are completely reliant on sight. They cannot hear your clowning or smack-talking teammates over the walkie. Once they see you, book it. I found that hiding behind trees and rocks is actually a fantastic strategy when trying to avoid them. Once they look away, run to the next tree or to the ship/entrance. Now with that in mind, let's see what cover offense has. Well, it's only a 5% chance, so they shouldn't spawn. Also, side note, there's these silly new vein shrouds and kidnapper foxes, which I'm going to make a video on why the kidnapper fox deserves to and should not ever exist in Lethal Company, or at least be nerfed. Offense is able to have everything. Apparently fog can affect desert. Rainy could be an inconvenience if the path is blocked, but just go the long way. Now flooded becomes pretty much impossible after 5 PM. Eclipsed, well, it's eclipsed. Just get immediately ready to deal with dogs and thumpers. Never go to any moon that's stormy. You do not want that thunder insta-kill to randomly strike you. That's everything on the wiki, the good wiki. I would talk about turrets, mines, and spike traps, but that's all on the fandom wiki, and traps in general are usually bound to spawn anyways. When playing offense, I find that the wiki is right. You generally get mid-loot, a lot of which is double-handed, and you often see a thumper, spider, and coilhead. I don't know if I expressed this correctly earlier, but offense is, it's not good. The exterior isn't great because there's no skips to main, and fire isn't easily accessible. I didn't mention bees earlier, and that's because this moon can't even spawn bees. Every other free moon is automatically a better option. Experimentation has better odds as the map is smaller and there's way less enemies. Assurance has slightly less loot, but far less enemies and doesn't rely on two-handed BS. But let's slow down. Everything I just said in this video is only one playstyle, the sweaty one. If you want to sweat, first of all, don't ever go to offense. It feels like a moon for having random haha funny moments, or just practicing with thumpers and coilheads. And even though I just smack talked offense for the past however long this video is, I still often go here on normal runs. Whenever I go to offense, I really just want enemies to spawn, because I know they will. I really like coilheads because they're terrifying, and my brothers are still relatively new to the game. You can imagine their reaction when they catch one about to kill them. I'm looking at him, you're able to look away. Hopefully.
I'm scared.
It's fine. This moon is overall fun, but awful if you want to make quotas. Don't go in there, don't go in there, don't go in there! Unlike March vs. Assurance, offense isn't an argument of consistency or bees, it's just a bad moon. But if you don't care for quota and just want to hear your crew scream from a distance because a coilhead just came out of butt frick nowhere, then yeah, offense is pretty good for that. Okay, but like, side note, Val has an unholy amount of coilheads. Like, it's only like 1.8%, but I can't stop finding coil-